Hi all, this is Skate, and this is a Tier 4 AMX 40. Now, something I don't do enough on this channel, and that quite simply is look at more of the lower tier tanks. I'm well aware people are more interested in higher tier tanks than lower tier tanks, and I'm also aware that a lot of people just skip through these things. But there are some hidden gems, and there are some fun tanks. And of course there are a bunch of people who really enjoy playing down the lower tiers. Some call them seal clubbers. They are seal clubbers, but some of the tanks like tier 4, tier 5, tier 6, I really need to start doing more reviews on because they are good fun. So I thought I would start with the AMX 40, aka the duck tank. In this replay, the tank is fully elited with the top gun, top engine, top tracks, and top turret. And it's horribly slow for a medium tank, yet it's ridiculously well armoured. And the gun has an appalling 11.8 second reload time, but it does provide a nice 160 alpha pop. And I hate playing the tank like this. Because of how slow it is, because of how long the reload is, I wouldn't exactly say it provides a mass amount of fun. And surely if you're playing some of the lower tiers, you're doing it for fun. Actually, that being said, regardless of any tier, we should be playing it for fun. But we don't. You feel more competitive when you're up the higher tiers, and you want more of a laugh when you're down the lower tiers. Which means you want a tank you can have fun in. And to a lot of people, this isn't it. A lot of people like this tank purely because, well, it looks like a duck. But a lot of people hate it because of how slow it is. And how long the reload is. And it has 7 degrees of gun depression, which isn't bad, but it's not something to write home about. And with this tank, it's all about the angles. This sort of angle we're at here hides the lower plate or increases the thickness of it, which makes it quite a nasty, thick, armoured tank. But you do need to put quite an aggressive angle on it. The problem with this tank lies in the turret. The top turret on this has a massive cupola on top. Well, I say massive, it's not massive, but in perspective it's large in terms of the tank. Now that cupola has around 80 to 90 millimeters of effective thickness. Just below that cupola is a flat spot, which is quite easy to hit, and only has 43 millimeters of effective thickness. The rest of the turret has around 80 to 120 millimeters of effective thickness. All in all, a tier 4. That's very good. But it can be better. And with that weak spot, which as soon as you know about it, you go for it every single time, and you penetrate every single time. So from a personal standpoint, the gameplay is very slow in this tank. And, well, it's just keep plodding on type thing. From a personal standpoint though, this is how I like to play the tank. Stock turret, second from top gun, because, well, it looks a damn sight more like a duck. So it's got the comedy factor. On top of that, I just think it's tenfold better like this. And the gameplay is a lot more action-packed, and I just think it's a lot more fun. The turret, for starters, well, it has better effective thickness, it doesn't have that weak spot, and it doesn't have the cupola just above that weak spot, which means you have a nice rounded turret with an effective thickness on top of around 200. Nothing's penetrating that. Around the cheeks on this thing, you're looking around 80 up to 160 millimeters. But here's my favourite part. 18 degrees of gun depression. 18! Remember what I was saying about 200 effective thickness on top and 18 degrees of gun depression? Yeah. Look at the situation I'm in. There is nothing they can shoot at except for the top of my turret. There isn't a big cupola coming up first. There isn't anything coming up first except for a perfectly rounded turret and then a gun. And with that amount of gun depression in this sort of circumstance, it is absolutely devastating. Now with this second from Top Gun and this turret, you have better DPM. You have obviously a faster rate of fire, which means it's much more interesting for perma-tracking things. You've got better shell velocity, you've got better aim time, you've got better gun dispersion, you've got the same accuracy on the move, and more importantly as well, you've got better power to weight ratio, which means the tank is more mobile. Realistically, the biggest drawback is penetration has dropped from 74 to 62. All in all is 12mm, which at this tier can make all the difference. But with that better aim time and better accuracy, you can target weak spots a lot more reliably. And to be fair, you are one hell of a hard target in this situation. I mean, look at the June I'm on. And we're using this without even using the full gun depression. That's obscene. And if you miss a shot, well, you don't have 11 seconds to wait. You are back on the trigger in 4 seconds. It makes all the difference. And in this situation, it's comical to look at. People take it for granted because they go, oh, look, it's stock. And you are just manipulating the situation by using the gun depression, using the good rate of fire, and basically targeting weak spots. Granted, when you've got the side, and in terms of most tanks, you don't need to target the weak spot. However, there are some you really need to try and focus the weak spot, like a Matilda, which I'll cover in the next match. But if you hated this tank, or found it boring, go back and try it like this. Or maybe you're going back to improve your stats in the tank because you went through it quickly the first time. A lot of people do that. It's a good idea. It helps your experience as well. From that perspective, try it like this. Because for me, I found I played a lot better in it like this, and it was a lot more fun. And it looks like a duck. So yeah, this thing is only meant to be intended as a short, quick video to run through a tank, which really I haven't covered, and I've covered the rest of the line, so I thought, what the hey, let's do it. I think the biggest thing, though, is I don't cover many low-tier tanks, and for fun, I should. In fact, someone's mentioned on the NA forum that they'd like me to make an SC100Y guide, and I've seen a lot of requests for that one in the comments. So I'm going to make an SC100Y guide. I haven't played that tank in a while, but from what I recall, it is blisteringly good fun. So I'm going to get on that. The other thing, actually, I haven't mentioned, I did another voiceover thing for Wargaming. For anyone who wasn't aware, basically when Wargaming has a video in Russian, they've asked me to translate couple into English for them. They give me the script and off I go with said script, but that's usually voicing over someone who's talking in Russian. This time they made a review on the KV2, obviously in Russian, and then gave me the script in English and went, hey, what do you think about doing this? And it was different to what I've done before, and the script was quite cheesy, but I kind of enjoyed doing it. It was very childish, it was very good fun, so if you haven't seen that on the Blitz channel, go check it out. It's childish, but it's fun. It's a game at the end of the day. That's what we're meant to be doing, is having fun. Or you could be sitting there right now going, no, this is not how a game works. It's competitive, it's team play, it's aggressive, it's in tanks. You have to be aggressive, you have to be competitive. Well, yeah, fine. So when you're up on the high tiers and you get very stressed out because your competitiveness is not felt by the rest of your team, well, go down to this tier, grab this thing, and take it out and club pretty much. And you won't get stressed because, well, it doesn't really matter. It's tier 4. You can have fun at it. And, oh, there we are. Remember what I was saying about weak spots? Just above the spaced armor on the side, you can penetrate it with the AP. I end up using APCR for the last one, but you can clearly see penetrated just above the spaced armor for the tracks numerous times. And then just to make sure we guaranteed it, I did go to APCR. Probably a little bit unnecessary, but I went for it anyway. I wanted to seal the kill, pretty much. But yeah, as I was saying, it is a competitive game. It's team play, it's online multiplayer. A lot of people get very, very salty, especially up the higher tiers. Just go down the low tiers sometimes and just chill out, relax. Now, Matilda, I want to show this. I'm firing APCR at the side of this thing at the moment. Once I've taken his track off, I'm going to go for the AP. Now watch this. Hit the spaced armor on the outside, you won't penetrate with the AP. However, go just past the spaced armor, you go through the track still, but you only go through one layer of armor, which means you're going to penetrate the vast majority of the time. However, it's a very, very hard shot to hit. So you need to perma-track him with your APCR first, because that does the damage to the tracks, and going through that space. And you can see our friendly little Lux going round and round and round and round and round. And he's just not doing any penetrating damage, even though he has slightly more penetration than us on this tank, quite simply because he's not aiming for those weak spots. But he is distracting the Matilda, and you can see Matilda's slowly trying to get his gun round, which means I'm comfortable to just sit here. I ended up changing to APCR just to finish off the last few hit points of the tank, but we're at tier 4, it's not going to kill the bank balance, and it's not the end of the world. Also, some people are going to be looking at the Lux going, what a noob, because he couldn't penetrate the tank. Do you know what? You don't care at tier 4, and the reason you don't care is because he is probably a newbie. Not a noob, a newbie. And you just feel less, I don't know, I just seem to care less when I'm down these tiers. If you get a really bad team, high tiers, you just get frustrated after a while. And when you've had like 10 matches in a row, and nothing but bad teamwork, you get frustrated. Down here, you're less forgiving. Sorry, you're more forgiving. And in fact, you kind of can't help but go, ah, I was like that once. And you'll see with this guy, I'm doing everything I can to try and track the guy and obviously save our little Lux in the process. And here comes the little Lux now. Happy little tank driving on and alive. And it was a fun little game. If we were using the higher gun, we probably would have needed less APCR. However, I still made 27,000 credits nearly. So to improve the gameplay, to fire that little bit APCR more often, not the end of the world. And I'm someone who hates carrying a lot of premium. So yeah, that's it guys. Very short, quick video on the AMX 40. It's a recording I did a while ago, but I haven't put it up. So I thought, you know what, quick little video, I'll put this up. So I hope you have enjoyed the video. Give it a go in this sort of setup. It's surprisingly fun. And like I said, it looks more like a duck. But thank you all for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.